I'm Jordan Vanover. I am the owner and trainer at House of Power Personal Training. Today we're going to be working with a client, Jake Cowino. He's 14 years old. He plays baseball. He's primarily a pitcher, but he also plays other positions too. So the workout you're going to see today is specifically for him and his needs. He's got some shoulder mobility issues, so we work a lot on that. He also has some deficiencies in his rotator cuff, and we work on that stuff as well. Today is going to be our strength portion, and it is currently a second week of off-season training. So you're going to follow us in the off-season training portion of what we do with Jake Cowino today. So this is a layout of what we'll be doing today. First off, we have our dynamic warm-up up here. I'm going to show you each motion because I might call them different things, but Jake's going to do all these things in order to warm up his shoulders and his chest so he can do the bench press today. The strength is going to be bench press, 3 rounds of 8 at 65%, 5 rounds of 5 at 75%, 3 rounds of 3 at 85 to 90%. We are primarily working on Jake's strength in his arms and chest instead of hypertrophy. We're not too worried about that. The second one is going to be his Metcon or metabolic conditioning. We need him to stay in shape in the off season. So what we're going to do is still work on a pull motion. We're going to do 5 pull-ups, 10 calories on the rower, and then 20 high banded pulls, high pulls. We're going to do 4 rounds of that, and he's got 1 minute and 30 seconds for each round. He's going to do that 4 times. Then we're going to go some skill work. This is specifically working on his velocity and his pitching and his power through pitching. So I'll show you guys that when we get there. You might call them different things, but I'm going to show you that. And then we got a cool down that's going to help ease his shoulders into recovery, and he's not going to be as sore. Also, it's going to help him get his heart rate back down. Okay, so we're going to show you guys every motion in the dynamic warm-up. Jake's going to do all of these, and I'm going to show you what they are. First off, we're going to go with 30 pass-throughs. Jake just needs a band or one of these pipes right here. This is Jake. He's 14. He's a baseball player. All right, he's going to pass all the way through, and you can see Jake's trying to keep his arms straight, touch all the way in the back and all the way in the front. Now, this is something we've worked on for a long period of time. Jake's been training with me for about 3 years, and he used to have terrible shoulder mobility. Could not do this at all. So if you have bad shoulder mobility, my suggestion is grab a band. That way you can stretch out a little bit more, and it's not a fixed position like Jake is. Once he gets done with these 30 pass-throughs, we're going to go to a 1-minute banded shoulder stretch, and we'll show you guys what that is. You don't want to watch all this. Jake's going to put his hand inside the band, take the same leg and put it across his body. So we're actually going to get a hip and a thoracic spine stretch as well. He's going to tilt up his hand like this. And the more he externally rotates his shoulder, the better the stretch is going to be. If he rotates in like this, it's not going to be as good. But if he rotates out, he's really going to feel that stretch. This is going to help warm up everything in the rotator cuff and everything in the back in his rear delts and delts right here. We're going to do this for 1 minute on each side before he moves on. Again, this is the banded shoulder stretch. Next over, Jake's going to do a wall shoulder stretch. He's going to put his elbow right there, right where his nose is, and turn away from the wall. This is going to get pec minor and also all of the shoulder muscles that are going to continue when we bench press. So this is important to warm up so we don't tear a pec or get him injured when he pitches. If he gets overworked without the stability or mobility to be able to move that arm, he will tear. Tommy John surgery, things like that happen because people do not do things like this and strengthen what they need to. So he's going to do this for 1 minute on each side. Again, I know this kid looks like he's 27. He's 14 years old. Okay, now we're going to move it on to stabilization. Now we mobilize the joints, and we're going to go 30 seconds over the head on each hand with Jake right here. I like to call this the upside down pineapple. He's going to hold that kettlebell, causing him to stabilize in every part of his shoulder for 30 seconds. That's going to get him ready for the stress and the load we're about to put on his body. If you do not stabilize before you work out, injuries will happen. It's just a matter of time. We're going to go 30 seconds on each side. Jake, push that head through. What it's going to do is get him to lock that arm out. See how it was above his head over here and his arm was bent? That's not giving me the full motion. I need it locked out and his head locked out by his ear like that. There's a better angle right here, what we got now. What you guys can see is this curve in Jake's spine. That's coming from a mobility issue in his lats right here, which we will fix at the very end of this. And all the cue you give them right here when it says, Jake, squeeze your butt cheeks together and push your hips forward. You see that just even out like that? That's gonna help him a little bit, but his arm goes forward like this instead of stays up when he does that because he does not have the flexibility in his lat. His lat is too tight right here. So we have to fix that before he works out. Issue with Jake's lat right here. This is a lat stretch with a pipe that I love to do. He's gonna put his head under that box like that and push through like this and push his arms up as far as he can. Now somebody that's advanced like Jake, I can actually grab this pipe and pull back a little bit and cause some more resistance on the lats, trying to get them to open up in that position. You don't have to do that. If they're not advanced, definitely don't touch that pipe. Let them go at their own pace, but I've been training him for about 3 years, so I know where he can be pushed. That head's gonna be down. All right, Jake, get up. No more than about 15 seconds on these at a time, guys. Give him about 10 seconds to rest. He's gonna move his hands out. When he moves his hands out, it's gonna make the stretch even more intense, and it's gonna get him in the more intense stage of that, so his lats open up even further. See how he's pushing his head down beneath that box? And the farther he can get this pipe back here, the more he's gonna feel that in his lats back here, and it's gonna open it up. So just 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now he's gonna go out as far as he possibly can handle this, which he's made huge improvements on this. Used to not be able to do this. Most people, when you test them, won't be able to go this far as Jake's about to right now. And here he goes. Now he's gonna, you see, I'm gonna show you guys the imbalance right here. This arm right here is Jake's pitching arm. This arm is not. Look at the imbalance in that arm. You see that? He is off. This off arm that doesn't pitch on, it's extremely immobile. So we have to work on this and fix this stuff by going here. It's also the one you saw on that kettlebell that was bending really bad. So Jake's got an imbalance in his left shoulder. And this is something we have to work on with stabilization. All right, Jake, that's good. Okay, just with that 45 seconds you guys saw, Jake, I want you to grab the kettlebell and do the same thing. Go as straight as you possibly can. Put your hips in, tighten your core, try to keep your back straight, and go as straight as you can. So check this out. Just with that mobilization, way behind the ear, straight up in the arm. Now push your chest down, put your hips in, straighten that curve. Look at that. Now he's got a straighter curve in his back and his arm is straight up. That's the fix that will do right before you work out. Mobilized and stabilized Jake's joints. We're gonna get him moving by doing a 500-meter row before he starts his workout. So he's just gonna get 500 meters on here. That's only gonna be about 2 minutes. And he's gonna go at a pretty tough pace to get his heart rate up, his blood flow moving, and his joints ready to work out. This is probably gonna be the most dynamic warm-up he has in this. I'm gonna show you guys the pace Jake's actually holding for this 500. Down here at the bottom right there, that's the pace he holds, that 130. So he's on pace for 130 for 250 meters, for 500 meters actually. So he's gonna do this relatively quick. He's using his muscles prime, trying to get his CNS woken up so he's able to do this workout. Okay, so Jake's done with his dynamic warm-up. Jake, how you feel? He's good. Okay, we're gonna do bench press today, like I said. Now we're moving on to the strength section. We've done his numbers out. He's 14, his max bench press right now is 135, or 115, sorry. So 65% is 75, 75% is 85 pounds, and 85 to 90%. We're gonna work from 95 to 105 pounds to see how he feels today, but he's gonna go through these reps. Now, we do these reps every minute on the minute. So he's got 8 reps. The next minute, he's got to go right back to it. This is going to engage the CNS. It's also going to keep him from getting too much rest. So you want to keep that CNS engaged. But then when we get to the heavier sets, like the 3-3, we're going to give him 2 minutes in between, or 2 minutes every 2 minutes. That way, he has got a little bit more power output at the very end. So for generic bench press, what we actually like to do is, I don't like to go really, really far wide, like most people do on these lines on the outside. That's way too wide. It puts a lot of stress on the side of the pec. So I'm gonna go thumbs where the knurling on the bar ends. That's gonna put me in a really perfect position, same way I clean, same way I do any of that stuff overhead press. Once I come up, I'm not gonna leave my shoulders up like this. I'm gonna engage those shoulders back by squeezing the shoulder blades back. That's gonna engage my chest. Here, we'll just engage the front delt. So I'm going to engage back, and then I'm gonna tuck my elbows in and come up like this. I'm not gonna bring the elbows out. This is a common mistake in bench press that hurts people's shoulders all the time. If you can't touch your chest with the bar, it's because your elbows are out and not in. The right bench press, shoulder blades pinch back against the seat, and your elbows are gonna come in, and you're gonna angle that up almost like a half circle. Now we'll see if Jake can duplicate that. Put your thumbs out, Jake. They're right there where the knurling ends on the bar. That's where I like to position them, and not on this line right here. Elbows in, chest sucked back. Look at that, nice. So if you look at the angle of Jake's elbows, they're perfect because they're not tucked all the way into his lat, but they're not too far out here where they're at a 90-degree angle. They're in between that, and that's the perfect range for that bench press. He's got 8 of these, and we gotta go every minute on the minute. That was right at 20 seconds. He's got 40 seconds rest. He's gonna go back to the next round. We're gonna do that for 3 rounds. You get the idea. So Jake has just finished his 3rd round of 8. Now we're going to his 5x5. In my opinion, the most difficult set. We've added the weight to where he needs to go. Now we're gonna go same thing every minute on the minute, and he's gonna get these reps. Here we go, 5 reps. Elbows in, shoulder blades locked back. Good, Jake. So these are difficult because the volume. We're gonna get, 25 reps in this 5-minute range, and it's tough because it just keeps on going off and he's got a lot of reps. When he gets to 3x3, Jake's excited because then he's got 2 minutes rest every time. He gets to relax a little bit and go just for strength. Last set of 5, I want you guys to see what it looks like in his last set of 5. He is still able to maintain this form, but he's starting to struggle in those last couple reps. That's exactly what you're looking for. That's how you build strength. If you do not struggle, if you don't feel that struggle at the end, you will not build strength. All right, so now we've moved it to his 85%, and he's gonna do 3 rounds of 3, but he's gonna do it every 2 minutes. So if he does the reps in 30 seconds, he's gonna have a 1.5-minute rest this time, so he's able to put out a little bit more power output, a little less CNS damage. There it is, nice, Jake. His elbows in. There it is, right there. First round done. Now Jake's looking a little strong on this one. He's only got 3 rounds, so as a trainer, I'm gonna make that call. I put a buffer in there from 85 to 90%, and this is 85%, and it looks a little too easy for me. So these 5s right here, we're gonna add those and get them up to his 90% because he can handle it. Now, if they can't handle it, if their form's not correct, if they're looking like they're struggling, definitely do not add weight. I don't believe in that method. But if he's feeling good today, his CNS is firing really well because of the warm-up kind of we did before, now we can add a little bit more weight, actually add a lot of strength to him today. He walks out knowing he's strong. This is round 2 when Jake has added up to his 90%. So now we'll see what he looks like. If he keeps the form or he breaks it. Looking pretty good. Good, here we go. Here's the struggle. Push it up. Perfect. So that ensures me that as a trainer, I've picked the right weight for Jake. Those last rep, he was really struggling. That's how you build strength. I can't stress that enough. You have to go through that mental struggle. You have to go through that part you think you can't push through and push through it, or you will not gain strength. Right, last round of this one, guys. He should do good. You should see the last rep kind of fight through that and struggle. You got it, Jake. Come on, up. Okay, might get the second rep struggle. Here we go. Shoulders back. Yep, one more. Come on. Beautiful. Good job. Good job. All right, guys, that's his whole strength portion of today. In his off season, we switch between bench press, cleans, deadlifts, squats, front squats. So he's gonna have all those major movements. Okay, guys, so that concludes his strength portion. We're gonna move on to his Metcon or his conditioning that we do. Now, the main thing to realize is in this strength cycle that we do, in this off-season cycle that we're doing, and we do compound lifts, major movements so his body can explode. So we do things like cleans, clean and jerks, front squats, squats, deadlifts, overhead press. We do things that make him explode and get stronger, but the emphasis on this 6-week cycle that we're doing is actually upper body strength. Jake has a 285-pound deadlift. He has a 225-pound back squat. He's 14 years old. So his legs are very strong, but his deficiency in his upper body. So things like bench press, he only benches 135, and his overhead press is only like 95 pounds. So our biggest emphasis this 6 weeks is to get him stronger at his upper bodies, overhead stuff, so we can add some velocity to his pitches. Okay, now it's time for workout 2, which will be our metabolic conditioning or Metcon. We're gonna go every minute and 30 seconds on these rounds. So he's got a minute and 30 seconds to do 5 pull-ups, 10 calories on the rower, and 10 banded high pulls. He's gonna do this for 4 rounds, and we're gonna get him in some good conditioning. It's also gonna be some upper body work and things that he needs, but it's gonna keep that heart rate up, which is really important for him to not get out of shape in the off season. Something I don't believe in is just doing strength in the off season, because you will be out of shape, and you getting back into shape is always miserable for an athlete. So I try to make that as easy as possible for the transition. So Jake is actually today going to do 5 kipping pull-ups instead of regular pull-ups. I'm gonna explain why and why I'm gonna make him do this today. Now, I don't only make him do kipping pull-ups, and I don't always make him do kipping pull-ups. When we're working on controlled stability and strength in the back, I don't recommend kipping pull-ups. But the difference is, in case you don't know, this is a regular pull-up, this is a kipping pull-up, okay? The reason I make Jake do kipping pull-ups and this kind of stuff, because we're working on explosion, explosive power. And Jake is able to do regular pull-ups fine. So the kipping pull-up is gonna cause full body explosion and an instant response to our CNS. So we're gonna work on that fast twitch muscle fiber inside the back, not just the slower stability fibers in the back. So when Jake does these pull-ups today, you might think it looks a little weird or it's wrong, and it's not. When you're doing it the correct way, a kipping pull-up is a very effective way to use not just the back, but the shoulders and explosion. So when I come up, he's gonna come, explode up, explode up. And you're gonna see him do that instead of regular pull-ups. That's the reason why we do kipping. Okay, so the third movement of this, the rower we saw earlier, and you demonstrated it, you're gonna record him seeing him do it, but I'm gonna explain the banded high pull. So this is actually for Jake's back, scap, lat, rhomboids, things like that to strengthen them, and it's still explosion. That's why we're using a band today instead of bent over rows. So he's gonna come up here. See my shoulder blades, they're forward. It's not gonna pull like this. It's only gonna cause the front delt engage. We're going to roll the shoulder blades back when they're engaged. Now my lats, scaps, rhomboids are all engaged, traps, engaged for this movement. Once we're here, now we're gonna explode the chest. Notice the quick explosions in that, not the slow controlled explosions. Again, today we are not working on stability and slow control. We do that, but today we're working on explosion. So when we come here, it's right here, explode, explode, explode. He's got 20 of those bad boys. Right here. We're gonna get a minute and 30 seconds. He's got a minute and 30 seconds. So he finished this in a minute, he's gonna have 30 seconds rest. If he finishes at a minute 29, he's going right into the next round. So it's up to him how hard he works. I like doing this to athletes to see how far they can push themselves and use that mental strength. 2, 1. Let's go. Good, Jake, exploding into it. Perfect. Perfect. Nice. See that technique? That's perfect, guys. All right, now we're gonna run over to the rower. He's got 10 calories. Again, today's emphasis in this Metcon is explosion. And you're gonna also see that in the skill work we do. Explosion is the name of the day. Beautiful, Jake. Now he's keeping that back straight, pushing hard from the legs. The row should be about 60% of your legs right here. He's pushing really hard, and then he's extending with the back and using the core. He's also doing the same thing as a row, bent over row, high pull. We're reinforcing that movement at the top here, so he's strong in the scaps and rhomboids. Good job, Jake, let's go. Just 20 high pulls. Right now, he's at 50 seconds. Shoulder blades back, shoulder blades back. Perfect. Good. He's exploding through there, causing those scaps, lats, traps, rhomboids all to work together. Beautiful. There's 20. You see this? So he's gonna have about 20 to 15 seconds rest every round. He's got 3 more of these. 10 seconds, Jake, you got this. Keep it explosive. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, get that chin over. Boom. Another thing with the kipping, guys, see how he's getting kind of low? He's feeling that fatigue in his arms. We gotta get that chin over the bar at all costs. There it is. There it is, perfect. To the rower, here we go. So you guys saw what Jake was pulling during his warm-ups. Now he's moving just slightly ahead of that warm-up pace where he's going hard under fatigue. That's the sign of a mentally strong athlete, somebody who's feeling the fatigue more than they were when they started, but they're still pulling the same output. That's why I make them do that dynamic warm-up with that row or something that's in it. If it's a bike or it's a run, I usually make them work up with about a quarter of that, because I want to see what their maximum output is before they're tired, and then what output they have when they're tired. It shows you a lot about an athlete. If they're being lazy on you and they're not doing all their effort, you can tell. You got it, Jake. Good reps, good clean reps, beautiful. You can tell because they're gonna give you a lot less output than they did when they went hard with no rest. Good round, you got 10 seconds. Let's see how he goes. Keep that form. This is the important part, guys. Under fatigue, that we're keeping that form like that. So those shoulders back, he's still moving. Straighten those arms. Yep, boom, he's getting the pumps. Finish it, finish it, finish it. Good job. That concludes the second workout, the Metcon. Like I said at the very first one, I structured this as a dynamic warm-up, strength workout, Metcon, some kind of skill work, which we're about to cover, and then the cool down. So now we're at the skill work. The skill work is going to be specific to the skill they need to use it in their sport. So Jake is a pitcher primarily, but he still plays baseball. He can play other positions as well. He's only 14. We don't know where he's gonna go ultimately, but he likes pitching. He's the most successful at it. So these things that I've created are for velocity in his pitch. So I'm gonna show you guys, I actually have 3 different size balls. We have a little 2-pound ball, we have an 8-pound ball, and for this one we have a 14-pound ball. We're gonna do 3 rounds of this. Now when they do skill work like this, there is no time. It is when they feel like they can give 100% effort. When we do skill work, we make sure that there is no time. We wanna make sure they can give 100% effort in every movement. So when I'm giving these maximum output movements, like you're gonna see him throw a weighted ball against a wall, throw it behind his head, throw it to the side, all these things, if I push the speed of these things, it's gonna slowly wear him down to where his velocity curve is not gonna be as high. He's not gonna be able to output as much effort. So we need to find that sweet spot where, hey, when you feel rested and like you can give 100% of your effort, then pick up the ball and do the next set. So we have 3 rounds of it. So the first round, if he takes 5 minutes until he goes to the second round, that's fine. It's whatever they need to get 100% effort in. I'm not going to push the pace like I did in the rest of the workout with 1-minute EMOMs and time caps on these things. I'm not gonna do that when they do skill work because they need to give 100% effort the entire time to get better. 2-pound ball, our 8-pound ball, and our 14-pound ball. Jake is gonna show you how to do all these. We're gonna start with the 2-pound ball. He's got 6 of these. He's gonna get on a knee, right there, and he's gonna same knee that's down, he's gonna use this arm. Now this is going to work the extensors in the forearm, and what we wanna do is enact the stretch reflex, and when enact fast twitch muscle fibers inside the forearm. A lot of people don't do this stuff with pitchers, and they focus on the shoulder, and they focus on the tricep, and they focus on the hips, which we do all that, but not a lot of people focus on this area right here. So we can get this faster, we can get a couple miles extra in his velocity. So here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna grab that ball, and whenever he's ready, he's gonna throw it as hard as he can without picking up. See, his hand is hovering above the ball. As soon as he's ready, he'll pick it up and throw it as fast as he can. Not like that. Boom, there it is, right against the wall. So we got 6 of those on each arm. The reason I make him do this on each arm is to prevent muscle imbalance. Just because he's a right-handed player and a right-handed pitcher doesn't mean he doesn't need that balance on his left arm. So we do it on both arms. Perfect. As fast as you can, as hard as you can. There it is. You want to emphasize that 100% effort, guys. It's giving you 50%, it's not going to work. Can't emphasize that enough. It will not work at 50 to 60%. There it is. You got to get 100% every time. That's why he's got to be rested. Perfect. Now he's going to switch to arms. This is his non-dominant arm. This is the one that he's not as fast at. Still important to have those extensors if he wants to be a switch hitter. If he's able to do it with both arms, he will not have a muscle imbalance, which is a big deal for us. You saw that when he was doing his pipe stretch in his left arm. So we're trying to work that out as well. Beautiful. That was good. He's actually got some good reflex with that left arm right now. Good. Okay, so that's our first one for 6 reps. Now he's gonna go with that 8-pound ball right there, and he's gonna get into his pitching position, raise that leg, and then fire out with his arm. Now this one's more dedicated towards the shoulder, the hips, and the triceps and back, what we normally get with pitching. He's gonna get that foot up, boom, perfect. That full body effort is gonna get him used to that, and the more speed he can do this with, he's gonna be able to create a lot more speed with a 1/2 ounce ball. Beautiful. So notice how he's not going super fast and rushing to that ball. He's picking up his spot. He's getting a big twist on the hips and a lot of power in that ball. That's what we're looking for, that torque and power, not speed. As far as like getting the ball, coming right back and throwing it again. You want to wait till he's ready. Beautiful. It's got one more at this distance. We're gonna switch to the other side. Beautiful. So now he's gonna go on the non-dominant side, and you don't want to see that. Yeah, it's a whole non-dominant side thing. This is again to prevent muscle imbalance, and to if he wants to switch hit or anything like that, he's gonna need this kind of strength anyways. But you can see the big time mechanic issue there because he's a right-handed pitcher. The thing we're gonna do is a 14-pound wall ball, and we're going to do it behind the head. So he's gonna use his hips and his core mostly to throw this ball behind him. Big thing that's underestimated in pitching is the hips and core. If he doesn't have really stiff core and he doesn't have a really strong core, he's not able to get more velocity in his pitch. And if he can't activate those hips and pump them forward, then he's not gonna be able to get velocity in the pitch. So this is for both things. Right here, it's also gonna use at the very end of it is lats, gaps, and rhomboids. Boom, beautiful. And he's skilled technician at this. You see it roll right in between his legs. He's got this down to a science. Beautiful. Uh-oh. So one thing we want to make sure we do just technique-wise, and I want to show this because Jake's been doing a good job. Jake, grab it. He's going to grab that ball, and he wants to tighten right here in the back scap and rhomboids before he goes. The same thing in a deadlift or a clean. He doesn't want to round the shoulders, going around your shoulders. You don't want to see this before he throws. That's not going to help him. It's called injury. He's going to tighten this stuff up before he goes. Nice. 2 more. Beautiful explosion. 1 more. Yep. There it is. Now, guys, we have 3 rounds of this, and it could take a long time. He may take 5 minutes in between this if he doesn't feel good or he feels like he needs more power. So I'm going to save you guys the time on that one. But that is our skill work with those 3 balls. We'll do that for 3 rounds. Whenever he feels ready, he'll go again. Guys, we have almost reached the very end of our day today. We have the dynamic warm-up, the workout, which is the strength, which was bench press today, the Metcon, which you saw him doing kipping pull-ups and things with, the skill work, which you just were working on the velocity of his ball when he pitches, and then this cool down. The cool down is going to ease up the shoulders. It's going to make him less sore in the long run. And then he's got that long, easy 1,000 meter row at the end. The 1,000 meter row at the end, you want to make sure that he can talk to you. It's an easy talking pace. It's not pushing the pace. We've already done all that. It's now time to just cool down and get some blood flowing to those muscles so he's not as sore, so he can work hard again. The stretches we got for him at the end here, he's going to do a twisted cross. Put his shoulder down with his palm facing out. Kick his hips back behind and put his head on the opposite side. This is going to loosen up the lower back, the upper back, and the shoulder. A lot of things we did today so we can get this loose. We're going to do this for 30 seconds on each side. And this is his cool down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He's going to switch sides on that twisted cross right into it. This is a phenomenal stretch for after you do anything with your thoracic spine or your shoulders or anything like that, because your posterior chain in general, just because it's going to loosen it up and you're not going to be as sore the next day when you come in, and you can do, you know, your upper back, your lower back, because a lot of times they'll coincide. Like deadlifts won't be on the same day as like what we did today, like pull-ups and bench press and things like that. We don't normally pair those. All right, Jake, you're good? So you can come back and do your legs tomorrow and like squats and things and use those motions without being sore. We're gonna go into just an easy downward dog. Yep, he's gonna push. Now, when we emphasize the shoulders on this, he puts them really far out and pushes his head down, like you saw in the box with the lat stretch. He's just gonna do that. We're only gonna go that for 30 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And Jake's favorite, we're gonna go into the eagle. Go under and grab his own hand like this. Now, guys, this is a gosh dang miracle. What's happening right here? This was not possible at all when he first came, not even close. So he's able to grab this is a huge testament to his flexibility. If you want to make this stretch more difficult, actually, all you have to do is just raise up the elbows like that, and you're going to feel even more of a stretch back in your rear delts, your lats, your scaps, your rhomboids. You're going to feel even more of a stretch there. All right, Jake, 3, 2, 1, switch out. Going to the other side. And he's got flexibility on both sides. Pretty impressive. Challenge you to try this yourself and see if you can grab your own hand. It's not near as hard as the zipper stretch, but it's the in-between version of that, I would say. 10 seconds left. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Now Jake's just gonna get on the rower for 1,000 meters. That could take a while. So you guys have seen him row before multiple times today. I'm just gonna tell you he's gonna get on there for 1,000 at a very talkable pace. So before he was pulling, 130s on the 500 meter splits. Now he's probably gonna be pulling around 220, 240 on those splits. Just a nice, calm, easy pace. This is to get the blood flow work into his legs, his arms, his back. I like to use the rower for stuff like this because it targets the legs, the shoulders, the arms, the back, the core, basically everywhere you want to make sure that you're getting blood flow to before he leaves today at a very slow and easy pace. Like I said, right here, guys, here's his pace. He's going at that 223. He was at 130 before this, so it's going to take a long time for him to get this done. Hope you guys enjoyed our workout today. Okay, guys, Hope you enjoyed his workout today. We made sure and covered everything we possibly could, from the dynamic warm-up to the cool down. Now he is in his second week of a off-season cycle. We are heavily emphasizing upper body strength in this cycle, and it's been an awesome time. Last time we emphasized lower body strength, and he PR'd his deadlift by 40 pounds. He PR'd his back squat by 35 pounds. He PR'd his power clean by 20 pounds in just 6 weeks. So the stuff we do definitely works. It definitely is doing good. I can't wait for you guys to watch it and become a strength and conditioning coach for ISSA.